So we're going to hear from Michiel Hildebrand now from Spinque about the Van Gogh Worldwide project. Michiel, if you wanted to share your screen.
Yes, I will do that. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me here. You should be able to see my screen now, is that correct?
Yes, I see your screen.
People nodding. Perfect. How much time do I have?
We have until 12:15, so I think, yeah, 10-12 minutes.
10-12 minutes, okay. Then I will need to skip a couple of things, but we'll manage. So for Gogh Worldwide, maybe you've heard of it. We launched it, I think, about a month ago. This is not just me. I'm here at this company, Spinque. We're actually a technology company, but this project is initiated by three cultural heritage institutes in the Netherlands. Probably this one, the most famous one, the Van Gogh Museum. And there's two other parties involved in the design part and the actual web development. So obviously Van Gogh is worldwide nowadays, right? So it really spans from Honolulu, in case you wondered what's happening there. So that's in Hawaii, throughout the world, all the way down to Sydney, Australia. So the artworks are located in all these locations, including all kinds of metadata and other stuff related to those works and life of Vincent van Gogh. And this project set out to bring all of that together. Now, how we usually work in projects like this is that we actually start from two sides. And the starting point usually is the users, right? So what is it that people are actually searching for? And as you see, this is quite an empty picture. So we will start filling it up during this presentation. But let's start on this side. So what Van Gogh Worldwide targets is actually professional users. So this is really the researchers that I also saw in Hop's slides. So what kind of things do these people look for? Well, it could be something simple as who did Van Gogh paint? Which family members of the Roulin family did he actually paint? But it could be a lot more complex as well. So what I have learned while working with experts in this area is that they do a lot of work on dating works of Vincent van Gogh, which one was made before the other, etc. And that involves a lot of background knowledge, going from paint sample analysis to the canvas that they have used, the actual threads that run through the canvas, things like that. And there are other things that are more in the social nature, right? So how were things perceived? How were the paintings perceived 100 years ago compared to how they're perceived now? How were they exposed together in exhibitions? So a whole range of things. Obviously, there are many more things, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And to jump straight into it, I'm going to show you a little bit here. So please yell if you don't see now the website of Gogh Worldwide on my screen. I'm going to do this a little bit quick because of time. So let's search for this Roulin then that I just talked about. Now, the first thing I actually need to say is that besides these 6 paintings here, the Gogh Worldwide is actually not so worldwide at the moment. We now have connected all the Dutch institutions. So I think 12, 13 Dutch institutions and all their information about Gogh Worldwide. And phase 2 is now starting to connect all the other institutes that hold information for Gogh. So if you're one of them, we will contact you, but feel free to contact us as well. So one of these paintings, very interesting here, is the little boy in his family. And if we go there, some of this metadata, of course, you have seen before, but what's very interesting that there is also high resolution images, and not only of the painting itself, but also of more technical recordings, right? So here you can actually see with the raking light technique, really how Van Gogh used the paint. And of course, there are also recordings of the backside, and really fascinating, all these different types of stickers that are in the back one of them from 1928 about a exhibition where this work was exposed. So Paul Casarier. Now remember that name because I will come back to that in a minute. So if I just go back to the screen and if we scroll down, then we see all kinds of other information. For example, the work was mentioned in letters that Van Gogh wrote to his family members. It is owned by various people and institutions. And here we have those exhibitions. So in 1928 was exactly this exhibition that we just saw on the back. And what is nice that this is itself an object, we can actually go there and now see what other objects were part of this exhibition, right? So we're sort of pivoting from the artwork to the exhibition. Now there's more information there, so you can have a look yourself. Now I go back back to my slides. So what we have done is from this end user perspective, and I showed you a bit the type of tasks that you can work on with this website. Obviously, there is a very important other part, and that is to actually capture the knowledge that is available in all those institutions. Now, I'm not going to go into this so much because maybe you have seen already Ivo Zandhuis talk on this on Monday, and I think also the panel will be quite extensive on this part. But there's just three things that I would quickly like to highlight. So the first one is that this is not just a collection management system. Information is actually coming from multiple different systems within an organization, right? And here you see a couple of examples: asset management, document management. But think about reports, publications, letters, diaries, etc. So all those things, in Gogh Worldwide, we're trying to convert to linked art. Obviously, an important role for external authorities. This is also what Rob mentioned, like AET, but there are others. And linked art was of a very great help to us. I fairly dare to say that this, I'm not sure if it would not have worked, but it would have taken a significantly longer time to do that. So this was of great help, and not only the model, but also the community. So I had various conversations with the community, with Rob, and they always gave me good advice. So I really like the community aspect there. So great job by all of you. Just to give you a little bit of an example how that all comes together. I didn't show that in the demo, but on the side you have various filters that allow you to select, for example, drawings or paintings or things made with specific materials. Now, if you know anything about aggregation websites in cultural heritage, these filters typically become a mess if data comes from various sources, right? Because people just have the right paintings in all kinds of ways. Now, all of these in Gogh Worldwide are based on authorities. So, for example, AT, but also others. And what you can do is, of course, also use the background knowledge in these things, right? So there are actually institutions that say this is not a painting, but this is a watercolor. But since this information is part of AET, right, that is, they are hierarchically related, we can actually use that information. And in this case, it was chosen to only show top-level categories, but obviously you could also use that to create a hierarchical facet and allow people to navigate in that. All right. So then to wrap up, because I have, I think, 2 or 3 minutes left. We have seen two parts now. We have looked at our users. What kind of search styles do they have? You've seen the application. Various data sources that have been mapped to a knowledge graph. Now, what is exactly in the middle here? Now, this is, of course, also where Spinque comes in, because it's one of the main things that we do. I'll actually show that in a demo as well to you. So what we do, the entire backend of this system is actually something that you see here. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And this is taking a little bit too long, actually. Oh, there we go. So here you look at our cloud environment where we build APIs over knowledge graphs. So all the information from all the different institutes in linked art is loaded here. And on top of that, we have defined a API. So I'm not going to go into all these things in detail, but basically the entire backend of the website is this, right? Is what you see here. So these things are the facets. these things are different endpoints to fetch all the artworks or select one specific one, exhibition, search, etc. Now, what is interesting here is that it might seem quite trivial to get all the artworks for Gogh worldwide, but it turns out it's not exactly. So what we do, we implement all of these endpoints in what we call relevance models, or you could also call it a strategy, which is built out of basic building blocks that each provide different operations. And some of them, if you're familiar with query language, something like Sparkle or SQL, will relate to that. But what we actually do here, it integrates both structured queries, structured queries as well as full text. So in the system, you can build a full text search engine that you would do in Elasticsearch or search engine like that, all integrated in here. Now, coming back to what are all artworks, in Gogh worldwide, actually the definition is very specific, because they told us the things that we want to put in here are all the things that are actually in the oeuvre catalog of De La Faye from the 1970s. In addition, there are a couple of works that were actually assigned after 1970 to Gogh worldwide. So these are two sort of reference data sets that we use, and the works have to be at least in there. But it's a little bit more complicated, because we don't want to show the work from this catalog, we want to show the metadata from the institutes that provide them. So that's why we need to do a little bit of trickery here to actually get the right artworks out. Yeah, that was very quickly what we have been doing. So to wrap that up, to realize really the knowledge potential of all the cultural heritage organizations out there, start understanding your users, capture the knowledge. Linked art helps greatly with that, but be aware it's not just your collection management system. There's a lot more out there. And to connect those two things together, think about your relevance models and how you need to provide this data to your users. Okay, that's it.
Thank you so much, Michiel. It's a terrific project, and we're happy to learn or to hear Linked Art was helpful in supporting this international collaboration, really. And I suspect you're staying on, of course, for the panel. So sorry to rush you a little bit, but I suspect you'll have the opportunity to answer more questions about the project in the panel.